Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. Presidents are busy people. And the President of the United States is no exception. Over the years, the POTUS has made use of a number of vehicles. In order to speed up trips to and from meetings, speeches, and other important locales. However, helicopters were not introduced to the presidential convoy until 1957. When Dwight D. Eisenhower commissioned a Sikorsky UH-34 Seahorse to take him back and forth from his summer home to the White House. This small-scale helicopter was later followed by a series of other Sikorsky helicopters. These would all go on to earn the designation Marine One. Whenever the president was on board, the helicopters are painted green and white. Inside, there would be enough room for POTUS to conduct meetings, communicate with global officials, and more. In 2019, the Marine Helicopter Squadron, HMX-1, announced that the new Marine One would be Sikorsky's VH-92A Patriot. The design was to be based on the S-92, a twin-engine medium-lift helicopter that had been in service commercially since 2004. The government awarded Sikorsky a $1.24 billion contract to create 6 presidential helicopters. Continuing a long tradition between the American manufacturer and the POTUS. Transporting the President of the United States involves an unbelievable amount of coordination between pilots, ground crews, and vehicles. In order to minimize the amount of time the POTUS is exposed, they will often be directed from plane to car to helicopter in a matter of seconds. They also tend to travel with an airborne convoy, which can include nearly a dozen aircraft at times. After the tragic shooting in Uvalde, Texas in 2022, current U.S. President Joe Biden and the First Lady were flown to San Antonio's Kelly Field. With an escort that included Air Force One and several smaller HMX-1 helicopters. In many cases, the goal of traveling with such a large convoy is to offer protection and security for the president. It also leaves some doubt as to which aircraft the president might be in at any given time. Most importantly, it ensures that the right type of vehicle is always on hand to get the president to his destination quickly and safely. The HMX-1 fleet is headquartered at Marine Corps Air Facility in Quantico, Virginia. A small detachment is based at the Joint Base Anacostia Bowling in Washington, D.C. There, they can service the president with helicopters as needed. Hundreds of Marines are responsible for repairing, refueling, and otherwise maintaining the aircraft. HMX-1's number one goal is to be ready with the aircraft at a moment's notice. The squadron is also responsible for training future pilots and crew members in order to sustain a robust staff, ready to support the White House travel needs. Additionally, HMX-1 coordinates with other military and civilian agencies at all times during the president's travel. This ensures safety and security from point A to point B. Among the aircraft commonly used during a presidential journey are the MV-22B variants of the Osprey. These aircraft are also referred to as white tops because of their green and white livery. MV-22 Osprey transport White House support staff, Secret Service, and media. And its activities are directed by the White House Military Office. Essentially, wherever the president goes in the world, they will have an entire fleet of aircraft at their disposal. This provides them with access to equipment, personnel, and plenty of protection no matter what they might encounter during their travels. The most well-known presidential vehicle in the world is Air Force One. Like the term Marine One, this is the designation for any plane carrying the President of the United States. But it is most commonly associated with a heavily modified Boeing 747. These full-sized commercial jets have served as the president's main mode of transportation since the early 1990s. This current iteration, known as the 747-200, boasts a number of capabilities and features not seen in civilian models. It has a longer range, for example, and can engage in aerial refueling to stay aloft for as long as possible. The aircraft's interior has more than 4,000 square feet of space. The fuselage of Air Force One is also more than 18 feet longer than that of a typical 747. Making it the longest commercial jet in the world. At the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force, visitors can see previous iterations of Air Force One up close. From 1962 to 1998, the plane was a Boeing 707 VC-137C. The first model, designated SAM 26000, ferried presidents from China to Vietnam to the Soviet Union and beyond. The interior of the plane is far from what one might call state-of-the-art. But it remains a very impressive aircraft. At roughly 150 feet long and with a wingspan between 130 and 145 feet, the 26000 was fast, versatile, given the age of the plane, the cockpit is very well preserved and still contains a wide array of technology from the Cold War era. To this day, Air Force One prefers to use analog systems wherever possible.
So it looks kind of cramped, but for the day, this was as big as they got until the 747 of the other wide-body jets came online. This was it. And back in the days we flew this, we had a navigator who sat right back here, flight engineer, and of course the pilot and co-pilot.
Despite its tactical abilities, the 26000 was extremely comfortable, with plenty of space on board for cooking, sleeping, and even hosting foreign dignitaries. Like any other large aircraft, Air Force One has a team of people assigned to it. This includes personnel who more or less function as flight attendants, pilots, co-pilots, engineers, and mobile command center staff. There is also always a doctor on board to handle potential medical emergencies. The plane is capable of jamming enemy radar and deploying flares to help throw off heat-seeking missiles. The plane is exhaustively maintained, both inside and out. This is done by personnel who have been specially selected and trained for the job. Every Air Force One flight is classified as a military operation. Commercial and private planes are often rerouted or flights canceled, so Air Force One has open and secure airspace. Similar to when the president travels by helicopter, there is always a ground contingent waiting when Air Force One arrives at a destination. Airports will also make sure that Air Force One has priority clearance, temporarily vectoring other air traffic away to minimize potential threats. As soon as the stair car is in place, the president can walk out of the plane, meet any VIPs that might be waiting, and move directly into a specially designed presidential limousine. The goal is to ensure the president can deboard and get into a safe, armored vehicle within just a few minutes of the plane touching down. The level of coordination between the waiting convoy, the pilot, and the airport team is quite impressive. When one's job is to protect the leader of the free world, every movement must be carefully considered. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.